go. Most powerful ability in the game acquired. The run is going to get quite a bit more crazy very soon.
Absolutely massive, Toadette. Grips just took a few deaths getting sent back to that safety station.
I heard you guys like lore, right? Well, we have go fast left, we have go fast up with enemy, we have go fast down, and now we have go fast up without enemy. Charge jump acquired. Welcome everybody after 10 days of qualifiers and a total of 25 races played to get our runners seeded. It is finally time. The 2022 Ori and the Blind Forest Tournament bracket stage officially starts now. And to start things off, we got the Seed 16 versus Seed 17 match right here at the start. Lion is going to face off against Gu1tar in this round of 32 elimination match. My name is Xemsis and Tuka will be joining me on commentary for this. Jill, you ready?
Oh yes, I am so ready for this match. You only started to mention how closely matched our two runners are. You can see on their PBs how close they are. They have played 3-2 so far in the qualifiers, with Lion just taking one more win over Gu1tar. They have had an incredible time, Lion being a bit longer in the community, having speedrun a bit more, whereas Gu1tar just joined the community about 3 months ago, has heavily improved, so this can literally be anyone's race. I am super excited to see this and even more excited to get to commentate this.
Yes, indeed. There's a very, very real chance that this race can come down to seconds, and let us hope it really does come down to that and not, let's say, for example, an unfortunate BRB drop or similar issues here. Instead, I would like for both of our runners just to get the best of the game done here, and how about we do 0 energy drops and glades to start things off?
Well, yeah, that would be good for our runners, but let's face it, it's more hilarious if it happens. So I'm all team energy drop, and I gotta stand with the game on that side. I am definitely hoping to see that. But yeah, we will, I think, get into the action shortly. So yeah, we will have this bracket of 32, as we got exactly 32 matches, 32 runners, and everything turns out quite nicely. Predictions are closed now, I believe. As far as I know, we have a total of 26 predictions, so let's see who gets the most points in that. And also, of course, who will take the win on this one and the tournament in general. As yeah, we will get into the action. And yeah, in terms of routing, I think our two runners are also very closely matched, so no difference there. But we will see how the execution goes, if Billy decides to do some weird shenanigans, if Ringo phases through the ceiling, and how much the game wants to throw at our runners.
Indeed. We have more than enough options for memes, but as mentioned, I just wanna see some good Ori today. And our runners have been given the countdown, so we're gonna get into the game any minute now. Speaking of which, maybe we can talk about some optimization before things even start here. Actually, as they start, if you read the menus, it is normal, not normal. Indeed, both of our runners playing in German, so we German commentators get to have maximum suffering with this run. But here we go. Prologue has been skipped. 2 Oris standing up at the same time. Actually, Lion standing up just a tiny bit earlier. And Gu1tar actually jumping into the first block edge there. That's well, I guess that is a bit of race nerves here. Opening the tournament as well as having an elimination match right off the boot. But so far, hey, a second in Glades will not be what matters most in this run. button and let us go to the left and collect our sign so we can start things off.
Yeah, hopefully our runners won't have too shaky hands maneuvering with sign and jumping so far. Sunken glades are famous for resets. Unfortunately, that's not quite possible here. Our runners have to suffer through horrible glades if it comes to it, but let's hope for the best so far. Besides that one hiccup on Gu1tar's side, both are jumping quite nicely through here. Hopefully the rhythm on the scroll wheel is nice. Lion stops just for a millisecond. Gu1tar going through without... actually also has to stop wiggling his mouse. Not quite happy about that movement, but as you mentioned, a second in glades most likely is not what will decide this race, as our runners are heading towards the keystone door, needing to dodge some slimes, grab some XP, and so far, no energy drop, I believe. So looking good for our runners.
Yeah, and Gu1tar getting the better bounce of the bounce pad there. That saves a bit of time, because having the animation and then having to do the little small hop extra does lose ourselves a second or so. Then on the other hand, Slime wasn't cooperating, so seconds or fraction of seconds going back and forth here in the glades area. Now setting up. Oh, that's a gigantic early game death here on the left side for Lion. Alright, it is no longer in terms of seconds. That means all the way back down we go, and Gu1tar can easily, comfortably take quite a lead here in early glades as he goes up to his 4th health cell.
Yeah, both runners, I do believe, are going for that extra safety in the early game, but yeah, that death definitely sets Lion back. I'm not too sure if our runners are watching their opponent. Now Lion has the 3 health that you don't want to have at this point, because you can only damage boost once if you were lucky. But yeah, let's hope his ghost door goes smoothly this time and he won't get obliterated by another slime. Looks good, gets the save, so everything's fine. His ghost door will take just a little bit longer, but still saves time over watching that animation just as it appears back. But Gu1tar, his XP did look good, I think, so should be able to level up on the way up as he makes his way first of our runners to the wall jump tree with a time of 3:25, 3:27. I am not too sure about that timing, but should get there, as Lion unfortunately is still stuck a bit behind. And
Indeed, and dear Glades, don't think I didn't see you trying to throw energy at Gu1tar there on the slimes, but he hopped over it, so everything is fine. Speaking of energy, second energy cell acquired. That means backtracking starts now. Lion taking a bit extra damage here on the Bramble. Might not wanna do the damage boost through strat because of that, because yeah, this slime right here would have killed him. Levels up on the way down, which means a bit of a different XP routing he will have to take compared to Gu1tar, but still the Brambles are gone, so it shouldn't lose too much time on the way out. Gu1tar having a bit of hiccup there over the ledge. That means 1 damage, but luckily those Brambles right here are broken, so we will not take extra damage here. Okay, gets through the elbow. Now on his way to Blackroot, as Lion also picks up his second energy.
Yeah, and Schwarzwurzelgänger are also famous to costing our runners a lot of time due to cycles and everything. But first of all, we want to skip some time by not watching any cutscenes. So yeah, the level up we have acquired earlier, also important to be able to level an ability behind while moving behind the ability menu, to be able to enter the cutscene and skip it. So that's what Gu1tar will try to do, as Lion is also hopping his way back into Blackroot Burrows. Now can... yeah, Gu1tar going for Magnet. It is the safer way of doing so, as that makes Frankie Walk a lot easier. Can now head into Blackroot Burrows and get the orb and get the darkness lifted, as Lion is still behind. That lead of Gu1tar will probably prevail until Gu1tar either takes a death or just does some minor problems that let Lion catch up, but for now he is definitely in the lead, as Lion is now setting up for his save anywhere.
Indeed, 1 orb picked up on the right, the sign, the other orb flying over to tell us about teleporters on the left. Let's see how long. Okay, Orb is being somewhat nice up there, not waiting too long now, blasting away the slime cycle. Now comes one incredibly interesting part. How do the plant shots line up and how does the laser cycle line up? Having to do a bit of a hesitation hop there, otherwise that would have been a plant damage boost, and has to wait before both lasers. What do our platforms tell Gu1tar? You wait 4 seconds as they bob up. Meanwhile, on the left, Lion taking another pretty big death in the BRB spike pit. That fabled pit has not placed the safety safe in front of it, especially since there's neither magnet or a killer level on his side, which means he goes all the way back to the cutscene. These early game deaths, which you normally reset through when you do PvE attempts or just push or IL or anything like that, those can really add up in a race setting like this. And yeah, with this, Gu1tar already in the final auto-scroller room as Lion is still picking up his XP and even sliding a bit down after getting absolutely sniped by a spider shot.
Yeah, but that safety save actually being helpful in that scenario, so good eye on that. And yeah, it is definitely also part of preparation for a tournament like this to be able to fight through those early deaths. So I'm sure Lion has prepared for that, as Gu1tar is now setting up to skip the darkness cutscene. Seems to be doing the normal cutscene skip instead of any kind of stacks, which is definitely understandable if you don't want to do blind movement above that pit where Lion is currently situated. So we'll just have to watch this cutscene as well, but means that he does not fall into the pit and needs to reload or something like that. As Lion is already putting up a save anywhere, I do believe that is because he does not have enough energy otherwise. But yeah, the action doesn't stop on Gu1tar's side as he is now dashing out back into Glades and will set up for Frankie Walk right here.
Yeah, and one kind of sad thing here, Lion putting up the save anywhere. I think that's also for safety since he is on 1 health, but it has cost him an entire platform cycle and he is being sniped behind the save anywhere. So there's being some minor spaghetti there on that side. Let's hope he can get through. There's a convenient health drop, sadly mixed together with too much XP, so he can't pick it up. That's unfortunate, but now he has lit his lantern. Now on the right side, let's see how this Frankie Walk and Death Gauntlet goes for Gu1tar. Kills the Frankie, has a magnet, so this is pretty comfortable. Will Death Gauntlet be of any issue here? Slime Dice drops some energy, which is very nice if he wants to put a safety save down, and indeed these brambles can be absolutely mean, and having an extra safety save, that means Frankie Walk saved. Now to the third energy, and off we go into Grotto now. Two interesting things happening at the same time. Both the Grotto cycle attempt probably on the right side, as well as we're going to finally find out which cutscene stack variation Lion is doing now. First on the right, it does not go for or get the Grotto cycle, so that's 8 seconds Lion can make up if he goes for it. Meanwhile, Lion with the save anywhere and now placing the save here on the right, gets the stack. Now let's just hope the blind movement works. Dash glide, 4 dashes, another dash glide, camera will pan over and he makes it through. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that is a newly found strategy, very well executed, as Gu1tar on the right taking a minor death. This is definitely understandable. These spikes, I mean, you have to be very careful how to maneuver around them in the most optimal way. Places another safety save, still has 1 energy left to spare, so let's see. Does not want to go for blind movement. We've seen that on Dash Tree already. Probably not fully comfortable with it, which is totally fine, as Lion is still on his Frankie Walk. At least he is out of Black Red Burrows. Definitely a sigh of relief from his side for sure. But without that magnet, this will actually be a bit more trickier than it has been on Gu1tar's side, so hopefully he can get it. And yes, grabs enough XP, but this is not over yet. Death Gauntlet is still ahead of him as he kills the slime, gets out of the water, gets by on the front. He now just needs to be aware of the brambles, but kills all of them. I think there was even a health drops in there, so should be fine as he grabs the energy and immediately charges up a save. No, does not quite save yet, as Gu1tar is now approaching Water Vein with a save anywhere, actually, just to be sure to get that cutscene trigger correctly.
Indeed, and it has been 3 tries on that grotto skip here, so again, some minor time save Lion can capitalize on, since we're still in the early game and there is so much that can go wrong in a run like this. This thing isn't over by any shot. Now, getting up the walls, skipping the first cutscene, walking into the water vein, collecting that for Ginso entry later. Sadly, we actually need dungeon keys in this category. Can't just skip ourselves into either Gu1tar3 or Mount Horu as much as we would like to, so that is required. And now into probably the most technical split of the entire game. Enter Ginso. All these grotto walls, extremely uneven and as hard to climb as they look, so we're gonna see a lot of different movement here. Gandalf being a jerk, not letting us through either, but gets the wraparound jump on the left, so that's pretty nice here. Now into growth proper here, leveling up on the 100 XP, getting sniped by the slime off of it, but now we are getting an ability cell and can then head over to the swamp area. Meanwhile, on the left side, let us see if Lion can make up some time on the grotto skip here. Going for upper setup and gets it first try. Very nicely done. No baguette jump on either side, but a nice grotto skip, and not using his ability cell on this skip, so he can use that later if he wishes to save time with it.
Yeah, and he definitely also saved some time with the blind movement on double jump tree, where he used one of his ability points. But yeah, on the right, Gu1tar now approaching the Ginso tree, also does not do game storage here, which can be very tricky, very understandable that he does not want to go for that. As Gumo is saying hi and is taking the water vein we just put in, and that Lion on the left is just getting so many water veins on the same screen, as Gu1tar can now climb this tree to get to the tree inside the tree and get his next skill, as Lion is now in this very technical part of the run, as you mentioned. All the walls, as slippery as they look, wall jumping and double jumping can increase the speed you climb them, but you need to be very careful about where you can jump and double jump to make sure not to slip off of the wall. Doesn't get completely blocked by Gandalf, so gets through, as Gu1tar has made quick work of the first room.
Indeed, and wait a moment. Oh, activates the grotto lasers right now. Not sure if he was just a bit ahead of the run, or if he actually practiced this movement. Since he stood still, I think that was a bit of a let's call it a race moment, where he took the wrong way. Well, luckily, if you actually don't do the blind movement, hey, we just watched it, right? But that's gonna be a bit of time loss in this split. Can maybe make up a bit later by not watching it. Now, as he enters Ginso on the right side, we have a mini boss fight. Optimally, you can get 5 of these 2-shot volleys in per cycle. Looks like we have an average of 3.5 so far on the mini boss, so it's going to take a bit longer. Again, with Lion actually having our triple shot here, that means the mini boss fight will go quite a bit quicker over for him, and we saw how much time this can take. Also almost dashes into the spikes, but makes it out. Alright, safety save down, means 0 energy. Gonna pick that up back from the crystal here on the way back, and has health set up correctly to do a ghost door in the next room here. Let's see if he goes for the classic setup. Indeed, just jumping from that little ledge there next to the plant, putting the keystones in, dying at the top. No hyperspeed, but gets bash. So that is one most powerful skill acquired, just missing the second one on Lion's side.
Yeah, definitely, as he is making his way through the cycle-based room. Unfortunately, didn't quite catch the best cycle possible here, so had to wait a bit. But is definitely catching up some time for sure. throughout the run as Gu1tar is heading back up into Gu1tar3 now, redirecting this projectile, which can be quite difficult, but manages it. Now has to set up for a key duplication, so it will be interesting to see which setup he goes for, and it looks like he will take the upper setup with a double bash. Very nicely done. Needs to save for the key duplication to work, as Lion is doing this puzzle room. Said before that he's not really used to doing the setup for this room, so didn't go for it, but now is in the room, and you can see how much quicker this mini boss is when you have the quick flame.
Indeed, that's a lot of extra shots getting in every cycle. XP in a horrible spot though for him. He is not picking up any of that, especially since no magnet is, so he'll have to adjust a bit, seeing how much he circled that. Meanwhile, Gu1tar through key dupe and the bash room now into the second mini boss fight. No quick flame advantage on this one. It is just shoot your bash, shoot the projectile back with bash over and over. And Lion actually getting the slow fall on the portal. Alright, we had a lot of theories, including certain deaths in Ginso or not deaths in Ginso. What that does, we are not all quite sure, but hey, he got the slow fall and he still remembered to hold right to still get his damage boost. Now circling this XP, gonna take that as a backup for mini boss. Good heads up there to adjust that in a race, and now also into his key duplication. Meanwhile, on the right, Gu1tar not opting for blind movement, instead turning on the lasers, and now one of the big showstoppers of the run is coming up with Swamp Entry here.
Yeah, heading into Dawn Sumpf, we will see how Gu1tar takes Ringo for a ride. Hopefully Ringo's shots won't phase through the ceiling, or he does not want to decide to take a bath, but looks good, not in the... Oh! But rams his face into Ringo. Unfortunately, this save not quite near as enough, but should be fine where it is as well. As Ringo decides to take a bath in the water, unfortunately that water will kill him, as Lion is now on the door, has successfully key duplicated, so just needs to put in the keystones and fight the same mini-boss. And yeah, that is definitely a big point where Lion can catch up. Gu1tar, if he struggles a few more tries, that is definitely a good point. He's already spending half a minute longer than he could on this trick. So yeah, hopefully he will get it to not bleed any more time. Oh, takes the shot to his face. But gets it this time, very well done, can now go towards Stomptree.
Indeed. Well, the frog might be an amphibian, but at least we can pretend the water is still poisonous, so it totally makes sense that he dies on contact, right? But yeah, as you mentioned, 3 tries on Swamp Entry, that means Lion gets some extra time to catch up, and while we still have that tiny bit of artificial time save here because the laser cutscene has already been skipped, so he can just dash through and head over right to his Sumpf entry. But here we go, Stomp on Gu1tar's side acquired, as Lion is setting up, not quite happy with where Ringo stood, really wants that safety save, something everyone can understand, especially after we just saw what Ringo can do here. Now setting up for the double bash method here, short of double bash once over, shoot the shot up, and it doesn't fade. Nicely done. That's a lot of time saved right here, and a bit of a high five as our runners both are in the same place here in Swamp.
Yeah, Lion definitely still a bit behind, but that clean Swamp entry definitely saved him some time, as Gu1tar is now checking if Ringo decides to be a bit of a meanie the second time as well. No, gets through quite nicely, can now go here, and since there is a laser, needs to be a bit careful. Oh, okay, that scared me a bit. But now can go towards Kuro cutscene. Let's see if he gets the skip or whether we see a big angry burp. And he gets there. Nothing to see here. Lion just collected his Stomptree. Does not quite get the double bash, but will surely get out. Let's see if the instant death pit will provide any problem for Gu1tar on the right. Will not do a safety save, actually. Yeah, so that hopefully is not a problem, and yes, gets out of here, so no death taken here as the game gets saved. And yeah, Lion is now also taking Ringo for the second trip.
Yeah, if you can't really safety save down there if you don't go for the double bash Shane, but look at that. Lion on point with those double bashes, really. I haven't actively seen a dropped one yet, and we all know how much they like to just fling you in a random direction here. Has also gotten his Ringo AC, but spawns Kuro on the Kuro cutscene, 19-second cutscene, so that will give Gu1tar a bit more of a lead as long as he can play consistently. That can keep up. But speaking of which, menuing is impossible. Hello option screen now gets out of it, reloads his game, skips Grove TP cutscene, Sea Flame already ready to break open this wall, which might just be the only Sea Flame use we see for the entire run. Who knows which exact route Gu1tar is taking.
Oh, but
now,
eyes on the left. Lion is bleeding some more time trying to get to that health cell. Gets it now, third or fourth try, but that is definitely another time loss that he will have against Gu1tar and that he will have to make up in the later part of the game. But Gu1tar is now in Valley entry and can go through it here quite nicely.
yeah, and speaking of which, that instant death pit claims one Ori soul today, with Lion getting dropped right there, a bit too low on his bash angle, and falls off the wall. Luckily, that safety save was in a really good spot, so it wasn't too much of a time loss, but time loss nonetheless. But now, let's see on the right, catches the first shot, seems to be happy with the angle, racing the shot down. Stomp stalling, bashing up again into the cell, and camera snaps. Very nice stompless here on Gu1tar's side.
Yeah, getting it with the first shot is incredibly hard, and then getting to the cell and even having like half a second to spare, very nice to see. Now just sees the feather swoop down as Lion is now heading into the Valley of the Wind as well, but unfortunately quite a lead for Gu1tar's side. But of course now is one of the hardest tricks in the game coming up for Gu1tar. Hard to learn. Hopefully he has his setup down now to get through. Places a safe, yep, and can now manipulate some birds. We will see how he does that with a double bash, which is quite the easier setup as you do not rely on two birds. And now is through easy first try, absolutely no problem for him, as he can now go into Sorrow Pass and collect the Go Fast Up ability of the game.
Indeed, Lion having a bit of a trouble with his frog there. Frog didn't want to let him up, but now Gu1tar up into the Height of Sorrow, and as long as he doesn't face plant into these spikes right here, let's not call it caster curse. I have nothing to do with this, I swear. Back to Sorrow Bash we go instead. That means Lion gets a bit of a catch-up, especially now after a death like this. Nerfs come a bit more into play. Takes another Sorrow Bash attempt here. Lion might have taken an extra attempt on the Bird Stomp, but that's not even close to as much time as this entire second Sorrow is taking. Not happy with this shot, however. Gonna reset on that. Now stomping down, racing the shot as Gu1tar did earlier. Stomp stall, 2 bashes up, and let's see, the camera will not snap, so no stompless here. Gonna have to retry that, but Gu1tar taking another death into the Dorito caves. And if Lion doesn't die in those, that's where we can definitely say 5 HP in a race can really pay off.
Yeah, definitely. That were some huge deaths, setting him back all the way back to Sorrow Pass yet another time. And this is definitely a moment where race nerfs are coming in. Not being as experienced with old skills as maybe Lion, the nerfs might settle in, but still has a lead. Like, you can still see that he is ahead by probably half a minute, maybe a bit more, depending on how Lion's Sorrow entry goes, but maybe we will see a safety save. Does not get enough height. Okay, no safety save. Oh, actually takes the energy, so maybe we will see that. But Lion having to go for the backup ability cell. Also another time bleed, but we will see how that turns out for his Sorrow Bash. Gu1tar now almost through the Dorito caves. Okay, gets through and has the save. We're good. Bash claiming another victim, but not completely humiliating him right here.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's just speedrunning in a nutshell, isn't it? You want to have that one Gu1tar saving you like at most a few seconds, and because of that you forgo a safety save and lose minutes. I think everyone who has ever speedrun in their life can absolutely sympathize with that. But look at the snipers again. Slime sniping Lion in Sorrow, and he's now actually dropping some of these double bashes here in Sorrow Bash. So Sorrow Bash being a point of problems for both runners here now. Okay, goes for the one double bash setup, gets through, and this time he has all 5 of his health as Gu1tar is heading over to his Sunstone. Let's see if he can keep that. Well, that's a shot to his face, so unless he places the safety save, he cannot take it to Rito Cave hit at all, and looks like he's not going for a safety save, so let's hope he can thread the needle through all of these spikes right here. Flying through. Okay, Dorito Cave's not claiming him as a victim, so that means he now gets his charge jump. And it might not be a high five, but we are very, very close here in Sorrow, all things considered, about these runs.
Yeah, definitely a nice race so far. Oh, Gu1tar taking a death. That will definitely set him back a bit, but not too bad. But another chance for Lion to catch back up. This race has been really going great. Well, actually not that great for our runners, but great to watch for us. But for this, we now head out of Sorrow. I am pretty sure both runners will be happy as soon as they are out of this area. I cursed it again. Gu1tar taking yet another death on the way down. Stomping down does not provide you safety from instant death. So now needs to be careful. Oh, stomping onto the platform. This is definitely some nerves showing. But yeah, we are here for our runners. They're putting on a great show and definitely showing how skilled they are here.
All they wanted to do is high five each other once more in the Sorrow main shaft. That's obviously what's happening here. But now safety save down on Gu1tar's side, so he gets to finally go into the go fast segment, dashing and bashing here through the misty woods. One bash failing, but not a problem for him at all. Gets a very, very nice backup and still reaches the slime with his charge dash. And now through the first segment here, turn around, misty shifts, and further down we go, with Lion being right on his tail, and so far no death on the Sorrow exit here on his side. Indeed gets out, and if he places a safety save down, then well, that's a race. Doesn't place a safety save down, so let's hope he doesn't take more than 1 damage on this entire path here. Now Gu1tar already watched the Atsu's Torch cutscene, gliding down this spike corridor, gets dangerously close to the spikes, but doesn't quite touch them. Climb acquired on that side as Lion turns around and Misty at the keystone.
Yeah, Nebel Force definitely not providing too many problems so far. Let's hope it stays that way for both our runners, as Gu1tar has to do the second half and Lion is still in the first half. As yeah, we go through here, and really a great show of skill of all the technique, not getting killed by any of the spikes, especially on 4 HP, as Gu1tar is still definitely needs to be a bit more careful, especially on these instant death lasers. Catches that he has the wrong cycle and is through now. Just needs to be careful with these. Oh, the charge dash actually charging onto the spikes. You love to see it, as Lion has also now collected his climb tree, is also now in the second half of Misty. Our run is really not that far apart as it might seem, as a one death, Gu1tar taking a safety save, definitely a good place for one, as he now can go through, gets the rocket jump up here, and hopefully also the second one. Yes, second one aligns nicely, as Lion is also now at the instant death lasers.
Indeed, just racing through, and good backups there on the 2 missing energy. Now let's see if we see a mini boss. Indeed, we actually see these guys going for a 2-cycle strat here. Those 38 seconds just became like 36 seconds or something similar like that, as our runners race each other through Misty. Now with the level up, we are good on resources yet again for the Misty exit here on Gu1tar's side. Lion also placing down the safety save, so no major death possible here. For the next few seconds now exiting. Let's see if we get a victim for the Valley Pit, but no, gets through. That is 2 more energy spent. Teleporting to Glades, Blackroot Anti coming up now. Lion conserving some energy here on the left with the Frankie Bashes. Gets a 3rd energy for his mini-boss kill and for a safety save. Nice. This is not quite the textbook 1 cycle, but a 1 cycle nonetheless, but so close to a level up, and that means he does not have any energy for the exit. Will need to take a bit of a stop here to kill an enemy or pick up any XP if he wants his charge dashes back, and indeed he kills a slime, and now he can also raise Gu1tar to Blackroot. Speaking of Blackroot, he's jumping through the lasers all behind the safe anywhere and skipping a cutscene which has about 70 seconds of time loss if you don't do it. So yeah, definitely a good idea to skip it. Grenade tree acquired on Gu1tar as Linus teleporting in.
Yeah, let's see how many grenade jumps we will see from our runners. There have been some new techniques regarding grenade jumps, especially around horror fields, but this grenade jump on Gu1tar's side, let's see if gets it first try, gets the double jump cancel, now dash glides over the cutscene trigger. Very nicely done. Does place the glide to not get obliterated by lasers, takes it slow here to not take that laser to his face, as these lasers really aren't that nice to your face, especially when you are heading outside. Gets over and will collect his 5th health cell right here, as we do need it to complete the game without the clean water, as Lion is now also dash gliding over the cutscene trigger. No 70 seconds wasted for him either, can get his grenade tree and hopefully also some nice grenade jumps for our viewing pleasure and his time save. Words.
Words indeed, but let's see. Now we're really in the all movement available section of the game, and Lion also setting up for a G jump and does miss the first attempt here. Will opt to go again for it. Very nice. Gets it on the second attempt. These are 1 frame tricks every single time you do it. Grenade is frame 1, the jump is frame 2, and if you miss the timing, you will most likely lose energy, which is also required for all the other go fast methods. But now Gu1tar entering horror here at 3310. Let's hope Dorwarp is going to be nice to him, as Lion does his Indiana Jones and picks up a health cell here. That is health cell number 6, and depending on how nice our fish cycles are to Gu1tar, this is a thing that could matter here. Let's see Dorwarp being done first try.
Gu1tar actually also collected a 6th health cell in horror field, so not too big of an advantage on Lion's side. 6 health is kind of comfy, it can still provide some problems, but hopefully that won't happen, as Gu1tar activating his final escape, just one big angry bird between him and the victory. But actually the last G-jump could be important with the setup and whether you get it or not, but so far no problem for Gu1tar. Gets through the first 2 rooms quite nicely. Now the lantern room, absolutely no problem. Cancels his charge dashes, C-flames the wall to get through, takes the dash to get up there, dashes through. Now let's see for the cycle, needs to stall a bit to wait, and immediately stomps down to get through. 2 health, 1 health, is through. Now just needs to be careful not to trigger Kura. Okay, as Lion also activates his final escape, but Gu1tar is in the last spot. Remembers to bash to the left and is setting up for his grenade jump. Has plenty of energy to spare, and he is through. GG to Gu1tar.
That was second try grenade jump here, and with that we did see our G jump, and there we go! Screen fades back to light here. That means Gu1tar will take the win here. Gonna get our official time right after we did some Naru walking. But for now, let's focus on the left line after taking a quick Rock to the face here now, back strong into the final escape, stomps the floor, Steve flames the wall as we have seen, and C dashes into the advent room now, going down here. Let's see how nice Fishes and Rocks will be at the end here, not needing to stall since we are on 6 HP. We can take any fish cycle, charge jumping bonks, but does not spawn Kuro. Now charge jumping up again, left bash here to get a nice G jump, sets up, aims high, bonks sadly, but still GG to Lion2, good run here, and with that we only have to hold right for a bit over a minute here.
Yeah, especially great considering how rough his early game was, being able to catch back up and go through Sorrow without too big of a problem compared to Gu1tar, who struggled a bit but got through and will continue on to the next part of the bracket. His next matchup will either be Rin or Sarah Baron, so we will have to wait for that matchup to see who he will be playing against. But for Lion, that unfortunately means the end of the tournament so far, but definitely has been putting on a great show. So we will ask our runners if they are up for an interview. Of course, that is always up to them, whether they want to give a statement and have a chat with us. But yeah, GG to both runners showing off their skills right now.
Indeed, and honestly, there have been so many things going on for this, and before the bonk on the final G jump, honestly, those 40 seconds difference after the door warp, that was basically the time loss to the unfortunate Glades at the start. So yeah, this was insanely close all throughout, and gets the sub 37 too. So nice done here. Speaking of which, one of our runners is going to have to face up either Rin or Sarah Baron in the next round next week. So yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind here. But first of all, Lion is already here. Hey Lion, still
Hello.
great performance. GG's.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, definitely great keeping up with after that early game. Did you kind of practice having to go through the late game even with that wrath of an early game, or were you just going through it regardless?
I mean, I haven't had to deal with I haven't died in Glades in a very long time, so it's like obviously it was really frustrating, but like I knew like after like I got out of BRB, I was like, okay, I mean, I just need to keep playing well. Like it's not actually that bad, and I mean, I was like a minute and a half off, or I'm about half behind or something in BRB, I think, or maybe it was only a minute, but like from there, I was just trying to like keep doing as best as I can from there, just so I could like actually still have a good run. It didn't turn out exactly that way, but the rest of it was acceptable.
Yeah, you definitely had a great rest of the run. Do you always go for the 6 health, or was that also an adaptation for the tournament right now?
I always do that. The health route I did so I always get the 5th in Spider Lake, and then I get the 6th there because I get the 6th in BRB because I mean, why not? And then it's also just like it kind of helps like make escape a bit easier, because then I can like go a bit faster and escape and not have to worry about the cycle for the fish. So that's nice. So yeah.
Yeah, I have a question, not about this race in particular, but about the entire tournament. So, when you were going into this, are you happy with your performance here? Still showing off, getting into the upper half on the seeding, and then still having a nice run and doing very nice on the recovery here? Or what
Yeah, I
are your
mean,
thoughts about your runs?
yeah, I mean, going in, I like before the tournament had started. I mean, I was honestly hoping to get like maybe like 25th, 24th seed, but then I got 16th in the end. So like, I mean, I was happy with that. Obviously, this run was not ideal, and I would have been nice to like do better here. At least get like a 34, 35 would have been nice. So, but I'm still fine. Like I wasn't expecting to win round of 32. I wasn't expecting to like have that good of a seed. So yeah, disappointed at this race, but overall I was still happy in general.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
you
and
can
again,
definitely be
GG.
happy.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah.
It was
Thank you.
very nice. And some of these sections looked very, very, very nice, especially in the later game there. Once we got out of our trouble zone. Now for other interviews, Gu1tar will not be joining us here, so let's look into the future instead, because we have quite a few races scheduled already, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have 2 matches on Friday, Infinite versus Pugil at 5 p.m. UTC and Griffs99 versus MetaMonkey at 7 p.m. UTC, both here on this channel. And then we have match after match for almost all the days coming, and more will be scheduled, so definitely be on the lookout. And yeah, we have a lot of action to come in this round of 32 that will be happening all throughout this week and next week.
Indeed. And not only Ori and the Blind Forest, hey, of course, we have the new fancy All Skills tournament here, but remember, Will of the Wisp Randomizer tournament is entering its absolute final stage. So remember to come back for those matches. You don't want to miss those finals either. So we have both All Skills in 2 days, and then on the weekend, it is Will of the Wisp time again. But for now, thank you all so much for watching here, for tuning in into our first match of the tournament. Thanks to Gu for commentating with me, Skullblacker for doing the tracking and providing us with stats, and Koala for doing the restream here, and of course Lion and Gu1tar for showing off their skills here. I've been Semless, and I'll see you around.